Hey, what's up guys? It's Kingdom Orange 2, and for today's video I wanted to do a ranking of Ever After High characters. I was inspired by Raven NY's video ranking Monster High characters, and I was like, oh my god, I can do Ever After High characters. I think I love Ever After High a little bit more than Monster High, so I thought this would be perfect. Also, if you haven't seen her video, make sure you check out the link before. Anyways, if you didn't know, I've actually done this video on my other channel, but I made a couple revisions because I've changed my opinions on things. And I got a nicer camera, so it's gonna look a lot better. How this ranking basically works is I've taken all the characters that have had dolls and put them in order based on my opinions of them and other thoughts. So now, let's get started with the ranking. So first on the list is Courtly Jester. When I first heard the idea of Courtly Jester, I was really excited. I thought it was super cool that they made a Joker card and that she could be any character she wanted to be. However, I absolutely hated Courtly Jester's voice, and the fact that she's a Cockney accent doesn't really help her case.
Let me tell you is not so wonderlandiful.
31 is Poppy O'Hare. I get why they made Poppy O'Hare because the original Rapunzel has twins. But the whole story of her wanting to be a royal and a rebel never really fascinated me, especially since her packaging says that she is a rebel. Sorry Poppy, but the only Poppy I have love for in my heart now is Poppy Rowan. Number 30 is Jillian Beanstalk. You can't really blame her because it's not her fault she was introduced in the line where the line was about to be cancelled, but she's just not that interesting of a character. I never really liked Jack and the Beanstalk anyways, so she wouldn't have interested me no matter what. Number 29 is Cerise Hood. Hear me out for this one. The fact that she's the daughter of Little Red Riding Hood and also the Big Bad Wolf was very cool. It's pretty interesting, pretty weird, but her quietness and her shyness don't resonate with me at all because I'm a very loud, in-your-face person. 28 is Faybelle Thorne. I love Haviland Stillwell as the voice of Raquel, however, for the voice of Faybelle Thorne, she comes across kind of annoying. Faybelle was also a disappointment to me because at first she came across kind of evil and someone who wanted to follow her destiny, not like a lot of the villains in Ever After High, they're all pretty good. But then in Epic Winter, she like completely changed. I can see why to some extent she decided to go good. It's kind of hard for people to understand like true evil. Also, a lot of villains in these fairy tales are one-dimensional, so I guess it would have been kind of hard to not be good. 27 is Dexter Charming. I like how Dexter Charming is a member of the Charming family, but he's like the socially awkward one. I don't really like how he doesn't have a destiny though, because we don't know who he's supposed to be. Is he Cinderella's prince? Is he not Cinderella's prince? Like, who is he? Now that I think about it, I don't really know why I ranked him so low, but I just could not give him anything higher. 26 is Ginger in the Breadhouse. Ginger Breadhouse has a great design and a really cool name, especially since she's the daughter of the Candy Witch. I feel like her story of not wanting to follow her mother's destiny, like Raven Queen's, is also pretty good, and her voice acting is also amazing. I mean, she's voiced by the same person that voices Cleo and Claudine, Sally Safayette. Not really sure how you pronounce that. 25 is Rosabella Beauty. The only thing I like about Rosabella Beauty is that she's a cousin of Briar Beauty. Besides that though, she's a literal Disney copycat, which is kind of bizarre because Ever After High really tried hard not to copy Disney, but Rosabella Beauty just reminds me too much of Belle from Beauty and the Beast. Number 24 is Bunny Blanc. She had the potential to be a much more interesting character. I mean, everyone loves Alice in Wonderland, and we were all super excited about her doll, but her personality is about as stale as a cracker, not a regular cracker, like an unsalted cracker, kind of like matzah. Number 23 is Alistair Wonderland. Alistair Wonderland is gorgeous. He is probably one of the hottest guys that attends Ever After High, but he suffers from two things: a boring personality and even more boring character design. The only thing that is cool about him is that he is a gender swap from the female character to a male character and not the other way around. Number 22 is Melody Piper. I really like Melody Piper's design. I like how they took the old-timey Pied Piper outfit and made her like a rebel who doesn't want to perform classic music. She's just really like into like pop and bop and rock and, you know, all that like new music, not like playing with the flute. But to me, she's kind of like the Holt Hyde of Ever After High, and she's just sort of a background character, so we don't really get to see her contribute to the plot. Number 21 is Mira Shards. Mira Shards is not exactly a student there. She's everything that Raven Queen would have been if she went the evil route. What I always found weird about Ever After High, though, is they want the villains to be bad, but they don't want them to be too bad because they don't want the evil queen going around and, like, getting in everyone's stories, but they want them to play their role that, like, doesn't really make sense to me. That's like telling a murderer, like, okay, like, you're supposed to murder this person, but, like, if you murder 5 people, like, that's a little too crazy. Like, where lawfully does that all play in place? But it's Ever After High. It never really made sense anyway. We can all agree on that. 20 is Cedar Wood. I really appreciate how Ever After High took the chance to make Cedar Wood a character of color. I thought that was a great idea for them to do, and her Spring on Sprung look has one of the best character designs out of all the character designs I've seen in Ever After High. I just don't feel like they gave her much of a personality. She kind of can only really tell the truth. She's very lovable and she's very cute, but I wish she was a more fleshed out character because unfortunately she was always sort of put to the side because of her, I don't want to say debilitating condition, because that's not what I mean, but just her character quirk. Number 19 is Huntsman. Huntland for life. He's very cute and sweet with Ashlynn, but he does not have much of a personality. I didn't even know what to write here for him, because he doesn't have a major role in any plot. Yes, he does, for Spring and Sprung, but even then. Number 18 is Blondie Lockes. I feel like Blondie Lockes did what Spectre Vondergeist was supposed to do. Get the gossip from everyone and not feel bad about it, but I just feel like Spectre Vondergeist went all goody two-shoes and haunted and decided she wasn't going to gossip. I do feel like Blondie Lockes can be a little bit annoying at times, and I don't know if that's just a voice actor or if she's portrayed to be someone annoying because she's always just up in everyone's business, and that can be pretty obnoxious. 17 is Duchess Swan. Again, I love how Duchess Swan is this sort of weird outlier person. She's the only princess who acts like a villain, and I thought that was such a genius idea for them to do. Like, when we just found out that Duchess Swan was, like, an evil Odette, you were like, no way. Like, that's great. That's amazing. Like, I would have never thought of that. So, props to you, Ever After High. I mean, that's why you were an amazing doll line. Number 16 is Nina Thumbell. I love Nina Thumbell's design. I think she's super adorable. I wish she had somewhat of a larger role than just having a little bit in Dragon Games and a webisode episode where she's getting chased around by a cat, because she's voiced by Draculaura, and that's just really cute. So I would do something smart and say like, oh, I shot this on a different day, my camera died, or, oh, I just changed shirts. But honestly, I just got overwhelmed and had to stop filming, so I am so lame. Number 15 is MeChelle Mermaid. The thing about MeChelle Mermaid is I think that Ever After High was doing a very good job of not making Disney knockoffs until they made Rosabella Beauty and MeChelle Mermaid. I just feel like making a mermaid with, like, pink hair is too close to the red hair of Ariel. Also, MeChelle doesn't really have much of a personality. She's just super quiet and super shy. The only reason I honestly think I gave her a high ranking was because overall her design is really good, and I'm really in love with the Little Mermaid, so I just wanted her to be such a better character, but she's not. Number 14 is Holly O'Hare. I do love her design, and I'm really interested in Rapunzel, and I love how she's obsessed with fairy tales, but even without her sister, she's really not that interesting. I feel like I only ranked her that high is because also I love Rapunzel as a fairy tale, and yeah, the design is absolutely stunning, so I couldn't give her a low ranking. I just couldn't. Number 13 is Justine Dancer. Justine has a beautiful design. I love her hair, I love her dress, I love her tiara. I wish they would have made her shoes more of ballet-type slippers instead of high heels. I think that's not really relevant for her design. I also don't really get the story how Justine didn't know she was a 12th dancing princess. That never really made sense to me. I do wish her character was explored a little bit more, but unfortunately, like a lot of the other girls, she was introduced way too late in the series. Number 12 is Madeline Hatter. Madeline is crazy, ditzy, cool, unique, interesting, weird, bizarre, exotic. There's so many words to describe her. She's just so out there that you can't love Maddie Hatter. I mean, sometimes you're just a little bit like, Maddie, what are you doing? But she's just that one friend that's kooky and weird, and you keep around because she gives you a good laugh, and I think Madeline Hatter definitely gives everybody a good laugh. Number 11 is Kitty Cheshire. First of all, I'm in love with the Cheshire Cat. I knew as soon as I saw her design, I needed the doll immediately. I like the fact that Kitty is a rebel because she's mischievous and kind of like the Cheshire Cat in Alice Adventures in Wonderland. He's a neutral character. He's not really on the side of good or bad, so Kitty's not really on the side of good or bad. But I don't really get why her mom went all evil and tried to destroy Ever After High. I thought that was a little too intense for the Cheshire Cat's character. Write in the comment section if you agree with me, because I thought I was the only one who thought that, but I need to know. Number 10, surprisingly, is Daring Charming. When we first met Daring Charming, he was sort of this arrogant guy who was really into himself, into his looks. But when we watched Epic Winter, we got to really see him grow into a kind and caring guy, and he even took care of Faybelle Thorne's debt, and I thought that was just very noble and very prince-like. I also do really like how he ends up with Rosabella Beauty, because I don't really like players who are constantly going around and, like, being with all these different girls and just, like, breaking hearts after one another. So I really thought that Rosabella Beauty is that type of girl that will just ground him down to earth. Number 9 is Briar Beauty. I liked Briar Beauty a little bit more in the beginning when she was a royal. I love Kate Higgins, and I love the idea of her being a princess who wants to live it up now. Was really cute and sweet. Honestly, I get why she didn't want to sign the Storybook of Legends, but I don't think she had to go out of her way to throw it into the Well of Wonder. I thought that was really selfish, and she was just messing with everyone's destinies, and that's when I really started to not like her as much as I used to. Number 8 is Ashlynn Ella. Ashlynn Ella is just a caring girl who will give you a sweater if you're cold, will give you ice cream if you just broke up with your boyfriend. I do wish, though, she didn't spend so much time with Huntsman, because I'm all about, you know, being with your friends and not really just giving all your time to a guy. I think it's so important to have a strong group of friends, and I wish that Ashlynn gave a little bit more, but I guess her storyline was supposed to be that she was in a forbidden romance, so they really had to play that up with her being with Hunter all the time. Number 7 is Farrah Goodfairy. I know we really didn't get to see her grow that much of a character, and she didn't really appear that much in the cartoon. However, I always loved the idea of a fairy godmother attending Ever After High, and I think Farrah designs and attitude fit the archetype, like, super, super well. Number 6 is Crystal Winter. So like Farrah, Crystal was a new character that we only got to see for a short amount of time. But how much she grew from a helpless princess into, like, an independent woman was absolutely amazing. I do wish her character design was that they just went with the background character, that, like, ice girl that we've seen in the webisodes, because I think her detailing is really weird, and the fact that they gave her blue skin, like, I get it, but it's just really bizarre. Number 5 is Lizzie Hearts. Honestly, who doesn't love the Queen of Hearts? Lizzie Hearts is the perfect example of what the daughter of the Queen of Hearts would be like. She's feisty, she's quick to temper, but she has a softer side to her because she's the Princess of Hearts. She has a heart. Sometimes, though, I will admit I do get bothered that she's kind of like Faybelle Thorne, and I feel like she's the sort of villain that just is being good, and I really want, like, a strong, feisty, evil villain, kind of like Mira Shards. But I get her story is that she wants to be nicer than her mother, so okay, maybe she's not really a royal. Maybe there is a little bit of a rebel in her. Number 4 is C.A. Cupid. C.A. Cupid's transition from Monster High to Ever After High was one of the best transitions from Lady Gaga's Chromatica 2 to 911. I felt like when she was at Monster High, she was kind of just this girl that was in charge of giving couples together, and she didn't really have a personality, but I really find her at Ever After High to have found her niche, and I really like how she has a crush on Dexter Charming. I wish they were together. I know everyone ships him with Raven a lot more, but I'm team Kexter or Stupid or whatever their stupid pet name is. I have no idea what it is. Number 3 is Darling Charming. Darling Charming is a perfect example of what a damsel in distress is not. Rather than being reactive, she's the one who's gonna slay the dragon, climb the tower, save the day, kiss the princess, whatever. What I also love about Darling Charming is that even though she's the antithesis of the perfect princess, she still manages to have her elegance and grace. Like, I remember reading in her diary that when she flips her hair, like, time stops and everything goes, like, super slow. And I think her character design is extraordinary. I mean, the fact that she looks just like Marie Antoinette was, like, amazing. Like, when I first saw it in that Darling Day Diary, whatever book, I was flabbergasted. Last thing I want to say about Darling Charming, her relationship with Applewhite is super cute, and I wish it was more explored in the webisodes, but unfortunately, Ever After High had to be cancelled. Alright, so my number 2 and my number 1, I flipped around for this because when I really thought about the characters and their importance, I actually put Applewhite as number 1. However, for here, I'm putting her as number 2, and I'll explain why I put my number 1 in number 1 instead of I think she was at number 4 in my last character ranking. So, number 2 is Applewhite. First of all, Applewhite should be voted for best hair. I mean, her curls are honestly to die for. They're beautiful, they're elegant. The way they look in the cartoon is just amazing. She's stunning. I can see why she's the fairest in the land. What I also appreciate about Applewhite is she's a go-getter princess. She's not gonna let her destiny play out, and she works really hard to get good grades and serve on multiple communities and create peace in the land. She shouldn't just sit and let everything happen for her, even though she's the princess of the land. I think Snow White's like the queen of all the queens, and she's like the princesses of all princesses, so she could really just sit on her butt and not do anything all day, but no, she really tries to go and do something. And while at times I realize she can be a little bit selfish, I think the whole royal versus rebel conflict has many nuances to it, and it's really, really hard to decipher who's the right side, because you could argue that the royals are right because they're just following their destinies. You could argue the rebels are right because they're trying to write their own story. It's a lot more thought-provoking and deeper than I think even like a kid would understand, because I think kids just want to be rebels because they want to write their own story, and I think that idea is cool and interesting and unique, but you know, royals do have their own point to them. Like, of course, why would you not give us our... It's selfish to just want to do everything your own way. It's just really complicated when you really think about it. So number one should come at no surprise to anyone. It's Raven Queen. Raven Queen is the protagonist of this story. Without her, I don't feel like Ever After High would be interesting. It would just be another fairy tale doll line called like Fairy Tale High, Once Upon a Zombie, Storytime Princess. It would just be Snow White's son and daughters going to school, and that would be so boring. And I think what sets this apart is that one girl who was supposed to be evil decided to rebel, and it just created this chain reaction of all of this stuff going on. And I felt like there was like a political coup d'etat in the land. I don't even think I used coup d'etat right, but there was a coup to something, and suddenly everyone's just like, wait a minute, can I do something that I was told I can't do? Can I create my own story? Can I live my own happily ever? Like, I know I'm not supposed to, but like, can I do it? And it just was crazy. But other than Raven being the protagonist of the story, she's a really relatable. She gets nervous on dates. She's not super popular. She's relatable to you and I think that's why everyone truly loves her for her. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more ranking videos, make sure you give this video a thumbs up and write in the comment section like what type of ranking videos you want to see and what you want to see me rank, because that will really help me come up with some ideas, because I do have some ideas right now, but I just want to make sure they're good ideas and not complete crap. So yeah, bye.